What is going on, everyone? My name is Benjamin Nowak, and in today's video we're featuring the brand new molds from Do It Molds, the Essential Series XL iCraw mold. And this is a mold I'm super excited about because you have a multi-cavity, ultra-realistic 3.5-inch craw style bait in a mold that's not going to break the bank. And there's a lot more awesome features to this mold that we're going to break down in today's video, so you won't want to miss it. So what we're going to be doing in today's video is shooting some dual injection baits through the iCraw mold. We're going to be gearing up for the fall with some fall style colors that are going to get us ready for this fall push. But the very first thing you're going to notice when you look at the iCraw mold is that it is a multi-cavity mold. This is something that I'm really excited about because you're able to shoot baits very quickly through this thing. It's a production style mold. You can make 4 at a time, and so it saves you a lot of time when you're shooting baits through a multi-cavity style mold like this. You also have top shot injections, which is why I'm super excited to show you guys the dual injection process, because what this is going to allow is a very clean laminate style bait when you're shooting your plastic through these injectors. Without further ado, let's kind of dive into this thing, show you guys the process, and get to making some iCraws. Before we get to shooting baits, let me show you guys a close-up of the iCraw Essential Series mold. And as you guys can read, it's a 4-cavity, 3.5-inch mold. And so what you're going to end up with are very realistic, natural-looking crawfish-style baits. And when I like to go to this mold would be during the fall time of year, anytime that I know those bass are very, very keyed in on the crawfish. So for me, the fall time is a really good time to be throwing craw-style baits on the back of a jig, on a jig head, or just dragging this thing along on a shaky head down there along the bottom when they're keyed in on those late fall crawfish hatches. So the color that I'm going to be making is my take on an Alabama craw. I guess for the sake of this video, let's call it the Michigan craw. And a lot of times during the fall time, I'm going to be going with darker base top colors and a lighter orange base bottom color. So we're going to be taking some watermelon brown and a little bit of motor oil to give us a dark kind of greenish brown top section with some blue flake. And maybe add in a little bit of black just to give it a little bit more depth and some pop. And then on the base of the bait, we're going to be going with some amber X2 colorant with a little bit of red flake to give it some pop and some black flake again for some depth. And those are going to be the colors we're going to be using when we're dual injecting. But first, we got to shake the plastic. So we're going to go with a cup of plastic in each of our measuring cups. And then we're going to add our colorants, and we're going to start to heat it up. So this cup here, this is going to be our top color. So we're going to take some watermelon brown and give it a handful of drops. We want the top to be really dark, so I'm not going to go too liberal with the amount of X2 colorant. Then I'm going to add some motor oil. And then I'm going to stir that in and see how it looks. A lot of times, too, this is going to change colors when I put it in the microwave, so I'm not going to get too worried about the color right now. Because by the time I add it to the microwave, it's going to really, really change colors on me. And then for the bottom, we're just going to go straight amber. Nothing too crazy here. We're just going to go straight amber for the base. My goal is to have a darker top section, a lighter bottom that's more of an amber or gold style color, so that way you have that dark back on it, just like molten crawfish. Now that we have color in our top and our bottom colors for the dual injection, we're going to stick them in the microwave, get them to 350, and then we'll be able to dual inject. This is sort of a personal preference thing, but one thing I like to do is to get my plastic to about 300 degrees before I add my glitter. That's going to let me know what the color is really going to look like before I take and add the glitter to the base. One of my favorite colors, just in general, a dark green base with blue glitter. If I show you guys this up close, it sort of changes colors between the blue, which you get to show through, but also some green and just a variety of different colors showing through that motor oil. I'm also going to add just a touch of black. Now for my amber, when I say I'm adding just a little bit of red, it's just a small dash of red. I just want this to sort of show through some of the amber, but I don't want it to be overpowering. And then the black, I'm going to add a little bit more black in the amber than I did for the green pumpkin, just because it's going to give it more color and a more interesting look overall. So while that's heating up, one thing you need to keep in mind about dual injection is there is a top of the mold and a bottom, and you need to figure out which side is the top. On the Do It molds, this Essential Series, the side that is the top is the side that says the Do It Molds logo. So that's going to be the side we're going to shoot that green on. The other side is going to be the side that we shoot the orange on, and that's going to give us our perfect looking craw style bait. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw it up into my dual injector, and the biggest thing I'm going to focus on is making sure my temps are as close as possible. That means the viscosity is going to be pretty much the same between the two colors, and it's going to allow it to shoot out of the blending block as a perfect laminate. So once I make sure it's coming out of the blending block clean, I'm going to shoot it into the mold like that, and I'm going to move on to the next. Moment of truth with the blending block as we open this thing up. That's going to be pretty much what the bait looks like when we take it out of the mold. You have your amber with a little bit of black and red on the bottom, your green pumpkin style color with the blue and black flake up on top. It's going to look like a really, really nice crawfish bait. So now for the moment of truth on the Do It Molds iCraw 3.5 inch. We're going to open the mold. There's your top side, the green pumpkin blue. There's your bottom side, the amber with the red and the black flake. So here's a closer look at the bait. So you get a really good laminate color because of that top shot in the individual shoot cavities, and it just turned out really, really nice. This is going to be a great bait that catches some big bass. So here we go, going to shoot it again. Green in the right, orange in the left, and it looks really clean. Now we're going to go straight to the mold, even pressure. So honestly, one of the nicer things about this mold is even though I didn't get a very good pour, I didn't get a very good clean injector full of plastic, because they're individual cavities, I only had to shoot 2 of those cavities for it to turn out well. Had you been doing this on a regular mold where it's a single injection and it does multiple baits, you're going to end up wasting a lot of plastic because a lot of the baits are going to be half full, or you're not going to have a full injector and you're going to have some issues. But with this, even though I didn't get a great pour, I still have a couple perfect dual injected iCraws with the plastisol that did shoot complete. So there's your green pumpkin with the blue flake side, there's your amber with the red and the black flake, and these two turned out awesome. So there's a feature about these Essential Series molds that I think gets overlooked quite a bit, and it is the finish on the bait. If you guys look at this bait up close, you're going to notice there's not actually a ton of gloss on the bait. It looks like a very matte style finish, similar to your Berkley Max Scent products that are on the market. And one of the reasons that I really like this Essential Series mold is because that matte finish is going to allow this bait to work really, really effectively in super clear water situations. A lot of things that I notice is that when you're fishing in really clear water situations and fish can see your bait well, that glossy finish just doesn't look as natural as the matte finish style baits. And so by nature of this mold being sandcast, you're actually getting a different style finish on your bait, more of that matte style finish that you would expect if you fished a bait for a long time or off of the Berkley Max Scent products. And so this is a really cool feature that might be unintended, but it's something that I think will help you catch more fish when you're on the water. And so don't feel discouraged when you shoot through the Essential Series molds and the bait comes out maybe a little less glossy than you would expect. That's one of the features of this mold that can actually help you go out and catch more fish when you're shooting your Do It Molds iCraw. So everyone, that is your rundown of the Do It Molds iCraw Essential Series XL mold. This is a phenomenal mold that's going to give you the ability to create a bunch of iCraw craw style baits, perfect dual injection at a price point that's not going to break the bank. This is going to be a really cool mold that's going to work for you guys if you like to rig your crawfish on the back of a trailer, if you like to take this bait and rig it on a small jig head, especially when those crawfish are molting and those bass are really keyed in on the crawdads. You have a ton of versatility with this mold, with this bait, to go out and catch fish on your home body of water. From up here in the north to down in Florida, there's a bunch of different ways to utilize this bait to go out and catch big fish. And with Do It Molds, you have the opportunity to customize all of your baits to perfectly match the conditions, the bodies of water, and the way that you like to fish. So if you guys have any questions about the Do It Molds iCraw Essential Series XL mold, be sure to check out doitmolds.com or let us know in the comment section down below. But thank you guys for watching, and as always, we'll catch you next time.